I'm Minister Jehudi, founder and co-spiritual director at InSpiritTruthCenter here in Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome to InSpirit TV. InSpirit TV was created so that you can have an inside look at our Celebrate Your Life service here in Atlanta, Georgia. You see, you could be watching this from anywhere in the universe, but we want you to come in and see what we're doing at InSpirit Truth Center. So join me as we take an inside look at InSpirit Truth Center's Celebrate Your Life service, and I'll come back and talk to you in a minute.
We all know that the message of Thanksgiving has to do with us being grateful and with us giving thanks for the good that we have. But I believe that there's more of a message to Thanksgiving than just giving thanks. Sure, that's a part of it. But when we take a look at Thanksgiving and that work that's involved for us to prepare a wonderful Thanksgiving dinner, there are spiritual lessons that we can learn from that process. Now, I gave a bit of thought about how I would deliver the message to you this morning. And what Spirit gave to me is that I would relate this to you in a story. I will relate this to you in a story that will give you the principles, the teachings that I'd like for you to understand about this process, about how we create. What I'd like to talk with you about this morning is a story that will illustrate what I call the metaphysics of a Thanksgiving meal.
Reverend Terry Thompson just gave a lesson sermon that is ageless, it is timeless. Now I want to say this, he did this right before Thanksgiving 2012. But whenever you watch this video, whether it's the 4th of July weekend, this message is going to resonate with you. Check out this metaphysical story, and we'll come back and talk about it in a minute.
So I'd like to introduce you to my friend Harold King. Harold is about a 45-year-old angry black man. Harold works at a job in IT, and Harold's mom has been deceased for about 3 years. And Harold really loved his mom. He's got a sister named Fiona who's like a year or two younger than he is. So they're on the phone talking, and he's like, well, sis, there's about 3 weeks left between now and Thanksgiving. We need to kind of get this together. She says, well, listen, I'm really busy this year. You know, I'm in school and I could use a little bit of help from you. Well, what do you need from me, sis? I bring the desserts and the beverages every year. What else do you need from me? Really, Harry? Seriously? That's what you think is all is involved with this? I tell you what, this year, if we have a Thanksgiving dinner, it will be because you made it. I'll talk to you later. Click. Today was a hard day at work for Harry. He found out that he didn't get the promotion that he thought that he was going to get. They gave it to a woman, to a white woman. He got home, thought about it, and he fell asleep, thinking about all these things on his mind. Harry found himself walking down a familiar street. It actually was a place where he grew up. He stepped up the steps into his old house. He looked in the mirror. And Harry looked like he did when he was 12 years old. But he still had all his memories, his recollections as a 45-year-old man. And then he heard a voice, a sweet voice that was music to his ears. Harry? And there sitting in a chair watching her stories was his mother, Dora. Dora was a gorgeous woman. She was about 40, 45 years old herself in this dream. He said, Mama, Fiona's being mean to me today. She wants me to make Thanksgiving dinner. Oh, really? And what else is going on with you, Harry? Mama, it's those people at work. They don't want to see a black man get ahead. It's like Daddy always said, son, you need to get your life straight. You need to get your thinking straight. Now, the last time that I tried to show you this about how to do a Thanksgiving meal, you didn't have time and you didn't pay attention. Are you ready to pay attention today? Yes, Mama, I am. Here's the first thing that we're going to do. You need to have a very clear vision about what you want this holiday to be like, what you want the meal to be like. Well, Mama, I know that already. I want it to be exactly like what you would do. They wrote up menus. They wrote up a guest list. They made a calendar. And Harry planned out things step by step. And then the thought hit him that he had put more time in planning that Thanksgiving meal than he had put into anything that he had been doing in life. And maybe that's why he kept getting caught up short, that he wasn't prepared when the projects were due, and that things weren't quite working out for him in life. The next thing Harry knew, he was in a meat market, and he was standing over the counter looking at all the different turkeys and seeing how they were frozen. Dora said to him, "Harry, the turkey symbolizes your consciousness. And we're going to work with this consciousness to get it into a wonderful meal. You see the way that this is frozen? That's how your mind is frozen. Those frozen, old, worn-out attitudes that are like blocking your good from coming in." And then lo and behold, there was a large turkey that had the name Harold King on it. He picked it up. And the next thing that he knew, he was back at home in the kitchen with his mother. "Harry, put it in the sink, and we're going to let it thaw out. And I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to breathe deeply. Just breathe deeply and be still and quiet." And then all of a sudden, he felt a chill, and he got stiff. He had a myriad of different thoughts, and as he did, it started to get a little bit warm. And he started to feel himself sweat. And one by one, these thoughts came to him. And Harry realized, you know what? Maybe I've been jealous of Sis because she's always known who she is. Maybe it's not the white people at my job. Maybe it's that I haven't kept up. Maybe it's not that women are no good, but that I haven't been open to talk to my wife, to women, and to people. And Harry sat there and he sweated, and he sweated, and then everything became still. Then Dora said to him, "Okay, Harry, turkey's thawed out. Time to move to the next step. We're at the preparation stage, and there are 3 parts to preparation: purging, prayer, and praise. You've got this turkey now where you can work with it, but that bird is filthy, and nobody wants to eat a dirty bird." He said, "Mama, is this really necessary? Do I really need to look at this and to try to find these feathers? I can't see them." She said, "Son, trust me, you don't want to leave those feathers and that dead skin, because nobody wants to have a tasty turkey and bite down on a feather. And it's the same thing with consciousness. If you don't clean up your mind, when the day comes that you get the thing that you want, up will pop one of these feathers, and it's going to ruin the experience for you. You see that dead skin? Those are areas that you've kind of toughened up a bit in your mind to try to hide things where you've been hurt. And those feathers that are left over, those are the things that you've been holding on to tightly, those beliefs, that error thinking that you don't want to let go of." So Harry said, "Okay, Mama, I'll try again." Harry kept going on, and now he started to notice more feathers. He started to pull another. It took him back to a recollection of when he brought his report card home, and he was so proud. His daddy took a look at it and said, "Son, what is this I'm looking at? These are B's and C's, and no son of mine should ever bring me a C or a B. Look at your sister, she brings me home straight A's. Are you going to let a woman do better than you? Son, I am so disappointed in you." And Harry was so hurt, so crushed, that he decided that he was stupid. And it wasn't until years later that he was diagnosed with dyslexia, and that was the reason why he had such a hard time. More and more feathers started to come up, and they started popping out, and all these different thoughts came along until Harry thought that he had gotten them all. Until he noticed, all of a sudden, it looked like the turkey became huge. And he was standing on the skin of the turkey. And there was this tall feather. He looked up at it. It was like 10 feet tall, but it was deformed looking. Harry went over and he touched it and immediately pulled his hand back. He had a flashback to his father. He thought that his father was the most mean, hateful, disgusting person that he had ever met in his life. Harry grabbed a hold of it again and started to pull, and he struggled with it. And he had another flashback of seeing his father riding around in his Mercedes-Benz with a 19-year-old girl that he had left him for. All the resentment, all the hate, all of it welled up, and finally Harry grabbed a hold of it from the root and yanked it, and he strained, and he pulled, and finally it popped out. And Harry let it all go. Harry turned to his mother and said, "Mama, I don't understand. Why is this happening to me?" "Son, this is a process that you're going through. It's a process of cleaning up your mind so that you can make room for the good that you want in it. You see, son, forgiveness is mind over matter. What mind over matter means that when you don't mind anymore, then it will not matter. You've got to find a way to let go of these feelings, to resolve them and just let them go. It's energy that's locked up. And if you can release that energy gets transformed into something positive. You know what, Mama? You're right. All these feathers that I'm pulling out, I don't mind anymore." She said, "Okay, son, but there's one more that you need to pull." "Which one is that, Mama?" "This one over here." Howard turned and looked, and he saw the most beautiful silver feather that he had ever seen in his life. It was glowing brightly, and Harold looked at it and felt a mixture of sadness, love, and anger. "I don't want to pull it, Mama." She said, "Harold, you have to." "No, Mama, I don't want to pull it. I'm not ready to let you go." "Harold, Mama's always going to be here with you. But son, you can't continue to live in the past." Harold walked over, and he bent down, and he pulled it, and immediately had a flashback. He remembered the day that his mother was in the car accident, and how it seemed like she was taken away from him so quickly, too soon, too early, and the anger that he felt at the man that was driving the other car, driving drunk, that he killed his mama. But that as he pulled the feather out, it's like he heard a sucking sound. And all the energy around that anger and that hate was gone. And it released a big, beautiful light into the room. And Harold felt loved. Harold felt secure. Harold felt that he knew who he was and where he was going.
I told you it was going to be a wonderful lesson sermon, a great metaphysical story delivered perfectly by Reverend Terry Thompson. You know, I walked away with, "Unthaw your rigid thinking." All right? Let it go. What are you holding on to? Why are you holding on to the past? You see, Harold was holding on to a lot of things that he needed to let go of. And once he let those things go, his life was better because of it. Folks, if you're holding on to something, let it go. Remember, purging, prayer, and praise. Say it with me. Purging, prayer, and praise. Don't wait until you see the results to begin praising. Praise and you will see the results. I'm Minister Jehudi from InSpirit TV, thanking you for joining us, and I'll see you next time.